Welcome again to us. After our minutes from this video, we start in a new part of the course parts, and it will be for explaining the ways of Sure for software products. Whether it is boxes, dongles, or even paid programs, during videos and lectures, we will learn more about the way through which we are able to work Sure for the software and see what we have, and the unanimousness of what we are always used to in our lectures and the parts of the course with us, so we will start our explanation from scratch. Without what you have any prior experience on the operations of the Sure boxat and dongles, and as long as we start from scratch, then before we speak and explain the methods of the Sure boxat and dongle in detail, we must initially know important information and details about the process. Because of the easiest of the topic in understanding it, I chose the 3 most important questions that you can ask for yourself about the issue of the evil of boxat, and they are 1, which means what services of the evil of the boxat and the bongs? How do you do the process and what are the benefits and answers of the process of evil bows, and why can I use the process of the evil of boxat? What are the damages and negatives of Sure al boxat operations? Am I a source or customer? And we know what I mean during the video and the 5th and last question. How can we do Sure work for the luxuries and the scattering that we have? And we will start with the first question, and we will answer the word Sure, meaning sharing. Consequently, when we say, we will do Sure for box or dongle, meaning that we will share these products with a second person who is working on another computer, and it can be in a place far from us, whether in the same country or in a second pure country, and therefore if we have a box or dongle and we have worked for him for a second person anywhere in the world, he can easily occupy the box, dongle, or the product that we have worked for him and works on it without any problems. Without the bow or the dongle, which is in short, the concept of the software products process, and I think this is the general picture, and it was clear, but we explain it more and understand more. So let us move on to the second question and know how to complete the process. What are the benefits and the positives? Boss, Pasha. And let us go to the first part in the question, and we know how to take the Sure process. The Sure operation is done between 2 parties, the first of which is the source or the source, and this is the party that works on the source computer. He is the one who will have bows, dances, or paid programs, and it is the one who enters the customer's computer through some programs, and of course we will get to know these programs in detail in the videos that come. This party means that it is controlling the full Sure process. This is the first party to the process, and the second party, which is client or the customer, whether the customer is an ordinary user or is software technician. This is the person who needs to occupy boxes or dongles to work in any meanings of meanings, but at the same time he does not have bows or dongles, and they are countries of the 2 parties. The topic is now dependent on the offer and the request is good. Let us move to the second part of the same question. Here are the positives, divided into 2 parts, and a second part for the customer or the technical who requests the services of the Sure. As for the source, this earns money from Sure operations. If a client or the art of software was asked to work for SureBox or a specific product, then this source will agree with him on the customer's money, and he will pay him to him in exchange for the process of ShareBox or dongle, and it is for a limited period, meaning the customer is able to benefit from the Sure process, so that he can work on boxat and vintageal programs, but for a certain period. According to the holidays that exist in the mobile, according to the consensus of the agreement between the 2 parties, the most important positive point is for the source, which is that he can provide an additional source of income in the event that he does not have a lot of work in his place or the place he is working in it. Therefore, he resorted to displaying the services of Sure, so that he can benefit financially from the products that he has, and for sure that he paid a lot of money, whether in buying the product itself, box or dongle, or payment of expensive annual activations for some products, and for the second party, the customer, so the person who has a mobile has a problem or a vacation, and the mobile model with him or the process that he needs to work for it is not supported by the tools for free, and it is also not supported by the dongle or the bow that he has, but the mobile is supported by Tolzo paid tools and the tools are not available as we have said. Consequently, he is also resorting to requesting Sure services, and of course the customer at the beginning, it will be a specific It provides Sure Boxat services and asks him to do Sure for the product that I want, whether the product was a box, dongle, or a paid tool, and he agrees with him on the financial compensation for the Sure process, and after that, the first party is the source. Sure works for him for the product that the customer requested, and after that, the customer can work on the box or dongle program, which I am working on the computer in his computer. And all this while he is in place and without what goes any other time. Each party means the part of the Sure operation. It is beneficial because the source party is benefiting and take money in exchange for the Sure operation. And the second party, which is the customer or the technical, will be used to benefit because he will be able to complete his work in the mobile and fix the holidays in it, and he will earn money for his work in the mobile. And the solution to the problem in it is the most important positives of the Boxat Sure process for the two parties. If you were a center with me in this video from the beginning, you can know why you can resort to the request of Sure operations in your work. And if he does not have a strong understanding, then we will let you be a small example. I really estimated the release of the domain of its normal and systems, but then you can meet other problems after the release of the domain. The first is that the serial may be apparent zeros and non-regular or possible serials. You are not able to work from IM calls, and in cases you will need library to the serial in the event that it is damaged or apparent zeros, or you will need that you work a patch sertel for mobile after the operations. And you can make calls from it and for the library for the serial, or you work with a BI circuit or the library network. So you must have specialized buses in dealing with Samsung phones, Zaid 3X, Octoplus, or Chimera, or any other product, and here it remains the problem appears, which is that you do not have any of these products, and therefore you will not be able to complete a job on the mobile. At the same time, you will not be able to buy boxes of boxes and products in large amounts to use it in the workpiece in one mobile, for example. Thus here you need that you are asking the services of Sure and asking the person you will deal with, or the tool that you requested. Then you can work library for the mobile and complete your work in it and then receive it to the customer, and you will be held accountable and take your money from it and pay the source to the source who wishes the operation of the box or the donation. Of course, the price of the Sure service is cheaper for dozens of times for the price of the box or the dongle. If you will buy it, it means the Sure process. You have a lot of money in buying products and activations, and this is a small example, explaining to you the general idea, and we answer it to a partial. On the rest of the bones and the rest of the boxes and synagogues, whether the products for Samsung or for any brand or another model, and whether they are boxes and draws or paid programs with annual or monthly contributions. And we would have answered all the parties of the second question, and after the time we move to the next question, which is the damages and negatives of the process of Sure Boxat and the dingsuls. Oh Pasha, because the issue is clear in concept, so we will be satisfied with the negatives of the Sure process for the two parties of the process, and they are the source party, the source, the client party, or the art of software, and we will start with the source. The first negative need can be faced, which is to ban his products or bouzes. From the topic of Sure Boxat, dongles, and paid programs, and of course this topic will definitely affect the sales of its products because in a lot of currency they will use the services of Sure instead of buying the product itself. Consequently, the difference is in it that works blocko banning a bacteria for the box or the dongle on which the Sure operations were made, and this happened in some products, such as the CM2, as an example, and the one who did a ban for very many dungeons. Because of Sure operations, and from them with his consent, which remained difficult to operations, such as the local tool team, for example, and who raised the time to run the tool on a second computer, I mean, if you are working on the tool, and limit your request that you are working for him on a second device, so after that, you will not be able to occupy the tool again on your device except after what passes. Because you earn a small amount for the service of Sure, so you can lose the price of the box or the fullness. It concerns dealing with the customer or the technical who requests the services of Alsure because it is supposed, natural and required by the source person is that he works for you for the product that you have requested. And it enters with you on the computer to some extent that you work as the product program that you requested, whether the box, dongle, or a paid tool. Thank you for this as this role in the whole process. And then you are completing a job in the mobile on the program, and when you get rid of a job, the source is informed that you concluded the operation and then he stops the Alsure process, but in most cases, this is not what is pure. Because there are many beginners, work, or ordinary customers, and they are not technicians, and therefore the source is very tired with them, because they may not know the programs or do not know. Or even after what you spoiled, they will not be a messenger of the mobile drivers, and most importantly, they would not work on the program or the box that they asked for sure, and it is possible after you occupied the program and say completely. In this case, you are required as a source that you prefer with the customer a long time and you prefer after Saturday in definitions, programs and others, but mostly if the source is sure that this customer is I don't understand or not, and he is interested in the needs in many basics, like this, so it is the wind of his brain and provides his efforts and cancels the process of evil from the ground. And in it is a negative that can be met by the source with some of the paid programs, which works online without the presence of a luxurious or dongle form, because it is possible to meet some of the needs that can cause it to cause privacy problems. Because times, he is forced to write account information and products for his own on the customer's device, whether the programs that work with annual activations or programs that work by charging the creed on it. Thus, the source person can forget and show some information for the customer or customer. The program is used in other operations without the source of the source. And many other problems can face the source because of the privacy of accounts with his belongings and the names of the comments and passwords. These are the most important negatives that the source can face in the evil operations of Boxat and dongle. Let us know the most important negatives that can face the customer or technical. The first negative thing you can face is the lack of experience in the field. Because it is possible to be a beginner person, and he will learn, for example, with a mobile phone, and I want to fix the holidays in it and request the service of Alsure for a specific product, but like what we said of a little in the negatives of the source party, if he does not have sufficient experience. I do not work on this programs before that, and I do not know how to use the operations on it, and I do not know that it proves the definitions of the mobile with him. In this case, it is possible for the customer or the technical himself to lose his money. Because the source is like what we say can cancel the entire sure process. He tells you that I am my role here to refer to you only the box, but it is not my role to fix the holidays that exist in the mobile, and therefore the source is possible to take the money of the product and the customer or the technical will be the loss. Because he rushes and does not have a chance that he learns, knows and determines before, he will work on the mobile phone with the discipline after what the source works for him for a share for the box or the dongle and occupies the program for him. The second negativity for the client or technical party is that it is possible to ask sure for box or dongle and after running the program on his computer. It begins to work on the mobile, but during what is the work of the box or the dongle separates from the source, whether it remains a separation from the source, it is ancient. Consequently, in the case of this program, it will be separated and the process that the customer or the technical will work on the program, it will stand as well as it is possible. The point in particular is a destiny. I mean, it does not always happen, but it is in the other. This is the most important negatives that you can see and meet in the operations. Okay, let us go to the question that is after that, which is I am a source or a customer, and they made us clear this question in a way that is you now and you see this video. You see yourself a source, and no agent and artistic. And it is not tickets for the course parts, and you learn, and with you, I want you to pray, but you do not have complexes or adequate dungs. From anyone who provides Boxat services on social media, and there are very many people who are working on the subject of software products services. But as we said that you do not ask sure for any product except when you understand and know that you will do what then, and you will work on the program how so that you do not tire the source with you. Of course, we are working a lot of videos inside the code here and explain the ways to work on different products, whether they are boxes or dongle. This is for if you want to be a customer or technician, but you can be a source, if you have some experience in the field of software, the mobile, or you learn through the course, and you have different products, whether BIPs, dongs, or paid programs. You are able to be the source and provide share boxat and dongle services that you have in order to be an additional source of income for you to help you after that you collect the money that you spend on buying different products and activations. You can be a customer, or you can be the source, and you are of course who choose according to your experience and according to the products, dongles, and luxes that you have. Okay, then you can ask yourself and say with regard to the first party, which is the customer or the technical who requests the services of Sure. How do I do that? The other will transfer us with a question with us, which is how we can do evil for the luxuries and dongles that we have, and of course, because this is a very important question, so he answered it in boring detail because it is the basis of our explanation. But during the series of videos and shata that came to us in this part, which is the part of the boxat, because the topic needs an explanation and clarification, so that you can understand it well and prove in your brain and understand the various methods through which you can work in a correct way for all the products you have. Perhaps we work like that, so let us start with some chain of slices of sherry boxat and dongle, starting from the video that comes, and I wish you will see this video again because of the information and it proves in your brain good. And let us complete our words and explain in the video that comes, God willing, peace.